what's up guys? My name is Zach and today I am driving a 2007 Saturn Ion Redline. Up front is a 2.0 liter supercharged inline 4, and down below is a 5-speed manual transmission. Now I am super excited to be driving the Saturn Ion Redline because this is kind of peak Saturn when it came to performance. Underneath the skin, this is a Cobalt SS, shared the engine and transmission with it, but it was made by Saturn, which is such a weird thing to say, so we're gonna be trying it out here today. But if you would like to submit your own vehicle and have it reviewed here on the channel, you can head on over to my website, zackpradel.com/submit. It's a quick and easy submission form. It takes under a minute to fill out, and I come out to you. But let's get back to that 2-liter supercharged inline 4 under the hood. Well, that's what made the Ion Redline so special, is that engine. You could find other Saturns in manual, and I've driven them before, and they're great, they're good. But this got a supercharged engine, which was fantastic. Like I said, it was shared with the Cobalt SS, but this is actually the competition package and had the dealer option stage 2 package done to it. So basically, you could take your Saturn Ion Redline into the dealer and say, hey, I want a stage 1 or a stage 2 package, even after you bought the car, and they would go, okay, cool. The stage 1 would add about 30 horsepower, and I believe the stage 2 would add about 35 horsepower, putting it up at a 240 horsepower. Basically, it was an ECU tune and new injectors, but it makes the car wickedly fun to drive. Like I said, paired to it is a 5-speed manual transmission. It actually shifts pretty good. I like it in this scenario. It's not the best manual I've ever felt. I still prefer to go Japanese in that regard, but it's relatively clicky, it's fun, and I just love shifting my own gears. If this were automatic, I feel like a lot of the magic would be gone with it. Last but not least, the Saturn Ion Redline is front-wheel drive. How does it feel to drive a Saturn Ion Redline? Well, it's a lot of fun. Not only in the power, I mean, of course that was gonna be fun, but it's cool to be driving something just strange, something out of the ordinary. And a Saturn, you would never think Saturn and performance gone together, but well, here it is. Visibility is okay. Mid-2000s wasn't great visibility as it is. Steering is a little bit heavy, but does give that more sporty, confident steering feel that some might look for in a sports car, so I guess it has that. Why does it sound so mean? Oh, that supercharger whine. Oh. Oh, God. That's good. That is good. Oh, yeah. That's the goods. With that stuff out of the way, let's talk about the interior. Well, in front of me, I get a single boost pressure gauge. This was part of the competition package from Saturn. So not all Saturn Ion Redlines got this, only if you got the competition. Around the boost pressure gauge is also shift lights. Very, very cool to see that. On the steering wheel, we do have our cruise control as well as the Saturn badge, which feels very out of place for the amount of fun I'm having. And off to the left, we do have a climate control vent, a little cubby, and moving on to the door, we have the lock and unlock, latch get in and out, power mirrors, and power windows. Moving into the center, this is where you find your traditional gauge cluster, and I find it funny that this is just the standard Saturn gauge cluster, just moved over, which is kind of odd. But we get our coolant temperature, fuel, speedometer, and tachometer all the way over there. Down below that, we have 2 climate control vents, hazard switch, and our radio. This radio was in like every GM product from this era. And our climate controls, where to set it off to the left, fan speed in the center, temperature off to the right. Then we do get cup holders, so we'll do a big friggin' bottle test, and of course it fails. However, the SW series from the late 90s, early 2000s actually passed, so kind of interesting to see that. Then we have the shifter itself. It is missing the boot. It had some work done to it. But like I said, I think it has a decent feel to it. Not the best, but definitely not the worst. And down below that, we have a 12-volt outlet and the parking brake. The seats are out of a Cobalt SS. Obviously, they are plug and play or very easily switchable, and that was done by a previous owner. But that is the only modification done to this Saturn Ion Redline. So very cool to see that. However, speaking of seats, we do have back seats, so let's go do a back seat review. As if this car needed any more reason to be quirky and weird, it has these strange sort of half doors to get into the back. So I actually don't get anything back here. I can scoot it up like that, but then you just get in through the door, and there you go. You're in the back of a Saturn Ion Redline. Now, the standard non-Redline cars also had this feature, and I reviewed one 2 years ago maybe, but cup holders back here, 12-volt outlet back here, and the seats themselves are actually pretty comfortable. Now, with the seat in its normal position, I would not have I wouldn't have legs anymore, but with it actually moved up a little bit, it's not terrible back here. Headroom, my head is hitting the ceiling, and I'm 5'11". So there's that, but you know, you can close the door up here, and there you go, in the back of a Saturn Ion Redline. But let's talk about the very back with the trunk. All right, so we're on the back of the Saturn Ion Redline, and we do have a trunk popper. However, because this has the competition wing on the back, it actually doesn't pop up anymore because of the added weight of the wing. So a little bit of an oversight, but that's okay. Once we are back here, here is the trunk space in the Saturn Ion Redline. Look at these in the package Ion Redline floor mats. Absolutely love that. Plenty of space back here too. So although it doesn't have tons of rear seat space, you do get plenty of trunk space. And I love that about GM of this era. I used to own a 2007 Pontiac G6, and you would not believe the things and people I fit in the trunk of that. So lovely to see that on the Saturn Ion Redline. Now we gotta talk about the looks. And I actually kind of like the look of the Ion Redline's appearance. I think it really captures that 2000s tuner culture, but from an American brand, which wasn't really the star of tuner culture. But the wing out at the back, that is the competition wing. That was part of the competition package as well. These are the stock wheels. Overall, I think it actually looks pretty good. And I love the fact that this car exists. I think that's sort of my final thoughts. So let's get into that. What are my final thoughts? This thing is a hoot and a half. It's so special. It's so fun. It's so wonderful to drive. And you don't expect it. This feels like the nerdy kid in class bench pressing 250. It makes you scratch your head and tear up a little. But I like that. I like when cars appear to be one thing and do the other. I like it when cars have personalities, and I like scratching my head of going, why would they build something like this? But at the same time, I'm so happy that they did. This car is special and unique and lovely, and it's just the best. It's just the best. It's so good. And I think that these cars are severely overlooked. I don't think many people really talk about Saturn Ion Redlines, and maybe that's for good reason. Saturn doesn't exist anymore, but this thing has chops, man. This thing has serious chops. And that, well, it made me laugh today. And any day you laugh is a good day above ground. I hope you guys enjoyed the video. Huge thank you to John for letting me borrow his Saturn Ion Redline for today's video. John has been wonderful to work with. We filmed a couple of his vehicles here today, and I'm very, very fortunate that he was able to put my butt in the seat of a Redline, because I think my life might be forever changed. But I hope you guys enjoyed the video. Don't forget to rate the video, comment on the video, and subscribe if you really liked it. Take care, guys.